Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another live stream. This is episode something or other. February the 23rd, 2026. How are we today? I'm pretty warm. Let's get the fan on a little bit. But how's your week? How's your week going? Where are you tuning in from? I had that thought on the countdown. How far are we reaching today? And why is my chair in view? How unprofessional. We'll keep it strategically there. See if the camera's working. No. I'm here. I've disappeared. What is all this about? Can I do a quick on the fly, take the wire out? Oh, it's moving away from me. Plug it back in. No. I'm literally in the camera view. Why is it doing this to me? Hey Linda, great to have you here, all the way in Arlington. Yeah, I'm doing great, thank you. Doing pretty good. Hey Marsha, all the way on Facebook. Madison, Indiana. I've never been to Indiana. I was thinking, should I just try to unplug the camera for a second? Should I do that? Because it's a power talk, I really want to be able to move cameras. Give me 1 second. I'll move my mic over here so I can speak. Where is the camera? Okay. Take that out. Unplug. Give it a few seconds and plug in. Did that... Sorry. Sorry. Did that work? There we go. Gotta just plug it in, plug it out, or plug it out, plug it in. Hopefully it stays. I don't know why it freezes. Now, where am I? Hey, Mary. What's for nor'easter? Nor'easter. Hey Angela, great to have you back on Facebook as well. Welcome. I know, I was like disappeared. I was there. And now I'm there. Oh no. It froze on me again. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. What a face. Right. I think we just got a glitch in the system. Is that a glitch as well? So, I've been a little bit silly, Mary. I don't know why that camera's doing that. So annoying. I'm like a statue. Oh, I can do it be a ventriloquist. See, I'm talking. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. Yeah, so I made a mistake, but we'll make this a celebratory episode because there's going to be episode 1200 And 1. Still special. Still special. I was hesitant on the last episode. I was getting a bit confused. But and I know why, because I was wrong. And thank you. Yes, we hit 56,000 subscribers on YouTube. That's a double celebration. We will go for some... celebrations. They're new celebrations, that one. Wow, never heard of that. A nor'easter. Wow, yeah, hopefully everyone's all safe. But I would appreciate also not having a comment about there. That'd be more helpful. It disappeared? Hey, Mina. I don't see it on the YouTube, and I don't see it here right now. Thank you, yes. 56,000 subscribers. I don't know how many millions of downloads and views. I think it's around 24 million. And episode 1201 will be today's. Hey Michelle, welcome back. Oh, that's awesome. No. Good stuff. The second one will be effortless for you. Effortless. So what else do we got? Are you ready to reprogram your synapses? All the synapses in our brain to fire off in a different way? Because the breaking news, look at that one. How cool is that? The breaking news is episode 1201 and 56. I'm going to bring that back. I like that one. Ready? This is new. Yeah, breaking news. What about this one? There's new. I'm not sure how I'm feeling about this one. It's going to be like energy. But it's not that detailed. Does anyone have a question? Because I got a question scene. You got a question? Is this new? Yes. Look at that. As you can tell, I've been having fun on my overlay scenes. What about this one? Last new one. I thought this might be a little bit hypnotic. I breathe in. I breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. And breathe in. What are we thinking? Oh, this one. Who wants more? Okay, that didn't work. Oh no. Maybe that one didn't work. It was meant to be money. And this was the glitch. There's a new one as well. Bit glitchy. I named it glitch anyway. I think that's it. I think that's all we got. I don't know what the last one was now. Yes, congratulations. Yeah, I was, I don't know when I did it. I think it was on Friday. Or Saturday. Congratulations. That's old. And the money one's not working still. Okay, yeah, so those are 2 updates. We hit 56,000 subscribers, and here's going to be episode 1201. This camera is broken. I'm even pointing at it. Don't know why it's doing that. But magic. What's the time? Okay, well, I've got 3 or so more minutes before we get going. 1/4 the hour. And there's going to be a power talk. So get ready to fly. Maybe get a bit confused when the math ain't mathing. Right, I'm going to try this for a second. So I've got a backup plan. Let's see if the backup plan works. Because this should work as a moving screen still. I duplicated it, took out all the side camera in case this should happen. I just hope that I've done it correctly. Yes, great celebrations as well in the group coaching call. Congratulations, you know who you are. I got to watch that bit and then the ending as well. Also, I changed my profile pic on YouTube and the banner. Don't know how that's going to work out. If it will stay, who knows? Now, has this worked yet? Have I zoomed in yet, do you know? I think that works. Yes, it zoomed in a little bit. That might do for the power talk. I'll have to remember that. Oh, that's funny though. So should we get into it today? 1 more minute to go. Any news on your side of things? Obviously we're celebrating Samantha. You get one of those as well. And one of those. That's all the buttons I've got.
Perfect. Perfect.
Hey Patrice, welcome back. We're just about to start. You're just in time. Just in time. Welcome. Alright, it's 1/4. One more quick hydration. Let's get to it. Or do you reckon we could? Right. I don't know, we might have to turn it back on. We'll see what it looks like. But Alexa, office lights off. So it'd be like this. Yay or nay? We'll have one light on. What do you reckon? My top looks a bit creased now though. Should we be in the void? The darkness? Or should we put the lights back on? Let me know in the chat. Otherwise we'll stick with blue. I was actually thinking of changing these backlights into this kind of color, but I just haven't had time to kind of tweak the settings. We've got 2 people saying yes. No no's. It's more dramatic. Yeah, then I can go, Alexa, office lights on. But the blue's not hooked up, so that doesn't really work. So Alexa, I'm sorry if I'm disturbing your listening machines, but Alexa, don't blink at me. Alexa, office lights off.
Okay.
There we go, more dramatic. Okay, well, we'll go for it. We'll see what happens. I've got an idea. Yep, let's get going. It's 1:15. So I buy all this expensive lighting only for the lighting to be turned off. Minimalism. Alright then. Alexa, play the podcast Hypnosis with Joseph Clough.
Playing Hypnosis with Joseph Clough from Amazon Music. Resuming number 1054 meditation for releasing hurt.
I don't even have to be here. Alexa, stop. Alexa, stop. I'm curious, did that wake yours up as well? Did it play the podcast? Then we'll get going, I promise. Or we'll just start. Maybe. I wonder if I keep walking back, I'll just fade into the darkness like some elaborate ending. Oh, okay. The listening device needs some hypnosis too. So let's get to it. Episode 1120, wow, 1201 even. Let's just do an abrupt change of music. Ah, you're all good. You're all good. So I'm going to move the chat out my way for a second. And then I'm hoping, I'm going to move my camera in front of me so I can check if it all works well. Then I got to put the new camera turner on. Auto switch. No second cam. And we'll see how it goes. So I've got to press the button when I'm ready. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the podcast. My name is Joseph Clough, and this is episode 1201. I hope you're getting value from my work because I enjoy creating all these podcast episodes, audios, hypnosis sessions, and ultimately I'm here to help and serve you in any way that I can. So episode 1201 is quite the milestone. And I thought today we can kind of lean into that. Like, what does it take to be successful? What does it take to be able to become conscious of what the unconscious mind is doing beneath the surface that is ultimately self-sabotaging our progress, our success, our goals, and our dreams? But before we get into that, I want you to know I never really thought about having a podcast reach over 1,200 episodes. It's not always about the end outcome or the big milestone. It's about really starting off with the right intention. What is the purpose behind our goals and our dreams? You see, my intention from the very, very beginning was to help people. So I began to speak my mind on the conscious kind of power talks and then doing hypnosis requests even in the very early days of the podcast. I remember clearly actually someone requesting like being able to like be happy dancing. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's see what happens here. And of course, over the time, it's now been listened to my podcast in every single continent, including Antarctica. And on top of that, with views and downloads, I think we're well into the 24 million at the very, very least. I haven't looked for a good 6 months or so. So I'm sure we are probably in that almost 25 million. But if I would have thought about the 25 million in every single continent, about over 1,200 episodes, it would have probably caused me to not do it. To a degree, right? Like, because it's such a big goal that I may have back then starting off, because I'd never had like speaking into a microphone. I mean, there's being broadcasted live on YouTube these days. So I didn't have that level of confidence. I was confident in how I kind of thought and how I worked my clients on a one-to-one basis, but to be able to deliver it in a different fashion, if I were to think about the milestones that we've succeeded together on these episodes, I may have just self-sabotaged. It's too big. Who am I to be able to reach that amount of downloads, right? So I want us today to think about the very, very beginning. What is the intention behind our goals? What's the intention behind the dream? That's going to be the most fundamental thing. It's not about the how to get there just yet. It's really understanding the purity behind what you desire. Now, if you're listening to this right now, I also want you to know you're never behind, you're just becoming, right? Life is a series of awakenings and journeys of becoming something or someone or becoming a certain goal or dream. So if we just take the word becoming, there's no real end. We don't even know where the start is. We're just naturally evolving all the time. And that can also mean you're kind of taking less pressure off yourself. But let's just say you want to achieve a goal or you want to be able to let go of an issue. Maybe you're experiencing debt. Maybe you want to be financially abundant. Maybe you're experiencing the imposter syndrome. Maybe you're experiencing anxiety, depression. Maybe you want that job, that relationship. Maybe you're experiencing some health issues. Well, we also want to make sure that we're not just, you could say, being honest with yourself. Because it's so easy to go, well, it's not my fault for where I am like I am, which could be genuine. So I'm not taking anything away from that. But you might have some reasons as to why you are like you are, whether they're legitimate or whether they're like our inner excuses. So I'd like you today to welcome radical honesty. Now, radical honesty is not about being mean to yourself. It's not about being demeaning to where you are right now. But it's just about having that grace and go, do you know what? Maybe I need to be radically honest with myself. What are the behaviors I'm doing that is not supporting my journey? Who am I surrounding myself who is not supporting my journey, who I choose presently to keep in my life? Despite whether it be toxic, negative, pulling you down, not allowing you to be yourself. Consider that radical honesty as a gift to yourself. Maybe invite your unconscious mind into this process right now. Maybe quieten the mind, maybe close your eyes, not hypnosis, but just to welcome any form of resistance that you've been going through that maybe you've been ignoring. Maybe there's elements of ourselves that we've been repressing, that we've been not paying attention to. And that's okay, right? Let's be radically honest and go, do you know what? It's okay, because now we're going to start to make that change. Because when you become radically honest with yourself, you can realize metaphorically we're in the darkness, right? We might not be where we want to be. But when we're radically honest, it's almost like we're welcoming that bit of light to ourselves, because it ignites something within us. It makes us wake up that actually we're not where we want to be, which then leads us into self-responsibility. And I will say this over and over again until the very end of me doing the work, probably when I leave this existence, and that is to take responsibility for where we are right now. It's very, very simple. When I do my seminars, I could technically speak hours about it, and that is the cause and effect, right? Most of the time, with good reason, we live on the effect side of life. And the effect side of life is having reasons, and sometimes we can be radically honest and say even excuses as to why we are like we are, or where we are right now. And once again, that's being radically honest, right? We're becoming conscious of, actually, maybe I've been kind of having too many excuses. Yes, I may have gone through all this stuff in the past. And by the way, when we take responsibility, it's not letting people off the hook. There's actually the biggest, most empowering thing you could ever do in your life is to assume the responsibility for your own happiness. To assume even the responsibility for where you're heading, for your own mind, right? We should not give our power away by being on the excuse side or the reasoning, the effect side of the equationing. Because if we think about it, on the effect side of the equation, we're pushing everything else outside of ourselves. And if we're pushing it outside of ourselves, we have no control. Right? That's what it is, just very, very simply, which makes us feel not very good. Now, initially, it may make you feel good because you have a reason, right? It's easy to have a blame that lets me off the hook. But on the long-term side of things, you will just feel more pain ultimately because you're not having the life you want. You're not having the level of control or freedom as to where you're heading, what you're doing. But now imagine, rather positioning ourselves in the effect side and pushing out everything outside of us, we assume responsibility for everything that's happening right now in our life. It can feel a bit daunting at first, but ultimately it means you are now in the driving seat. You're not a passenger to your life. You're not a passenger to your unconscious mind. You're deciding and declaring today that you are worth more, deserving of more, and you're ready to receive more, and you're willing to do whatever it takes. And then when you go on that journey, you're starting to become conscious of the inner workings of the brain. You're starting to realize, do you know what? I've been just programmed. So that means you're not broken. You've just been programmed through past significant emotional events, the situations or the things that were said to us. And if it's been programmed, it means we can reprogram it as to how we want to. Whether you use hypnosis to do that, or you apply to work with me, or you work with someone else, you read a book, whatever it is for you, go on a seminar, go on a training. But you're starting to recognize the patterns that you've been repeating And some of these patterns are from the framework, as an example, as maybe a 5-year-old. Because that's when the belief may have kicked in. Like maybe at 5 years old, we were told something by someone who was important to us, or maybe like a guardian or parent, or maybe it could be later, of course, but the unconscious mind holds that belief of that age or that framework and brings it into the present. So some of these patterns we've been running are decades old, and they're not ready for us anymore. Like, you have to give yourself permission to hand them over, because ultimately we are taking in the world through all our 5 senses, and we are deleting, distorting, and generalizing based on that past programming. That's where you go, well, I'm always like this. I'm always in debt. I'm always attracting bad relationships. It always happens to me. You probably know someone like that, or you may know that person that bit more because that person is you. So become conscious of how we're generalizing based on those past patterns. And of course, you might be deleting aspects of reality because of that programming. You're not seeing the good in yourself or the qualities you bring. Sometimes your friend could say you're such an amazing person, but you just delete it straight away and go, that's not me. And then on the inside, you reject it and you kind of go, well, I'm just not good enough or worthy or deserving or fill in the blank, right? You may know someone like that, or you may be that person too. So we're deleting, and ultimately we distort, right? If you go through lots of trauma, of course, your outlook of the your outlook of the world is going to be a level of distortion. You're not seeing it through the frame or the lens of clarity. You're seeing it through the eyes of past programming. Now, what does that mean to us? It ultimately means it will change how we see ourselves, our own identity. So if we don't believe we're worthy, deserving, or good enough, of course, you're going to generalize, distort, and delete your subjective reality. So recognize this, become conscious of it. Let the unconscious programming come to the surface so you can witness it and give yourself clarity and go, do you know what? This is an old program and I'm willing to do something else. I'm willing to do the work. Because forget about the strategy of changing, because most people just try to work on their symptoms. That's their strategy, what they feel the most. I want us to freeze it for a moment and become conscious of what our identity is. What are the belief systems we hold which creates the symptoms? That's going to be a huge thing. Now, of course, that means we start to work only on the cause, the core limiting belief. And that may be I'm not good enough, worthy, deserving. It could be a whole number of things, but that should be your number one job, to work on the identity level and not the symptom level. Because ultimately, people aren't broken. They're not broken. They're just conflicted. They've gone through a certain amount, and I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again. We come into this world like a blank piece of paper. We're absolutely pure in every single way. And then as we go through certain events, we become conflicted, right? There are little markings on this piece of paper. It's like separations. There's like kind of circles over here, circles over there. Each circle may be representing a negative emotion or a limiting belief or a symptom. So when you look at that blank piece of paper, it's very fragmented now, right? It's just like it's not whole anymore. All the experiences we've gone to. But imagine if we do the work and one by one each circle begins to disappear. Each kind of level of line disappears, and then we get to the blankness again. That is the journey of life, in my opinion. We come into this world so pure and whole. We go through experiences which makes us feel conflicted, or like there's a disorder in the system, in our neurology, our unconscious mind. But once we start to do the work, we integrate by getting learnings at an unconscious level, and we integrate back into the oneness. But now we're not just a blank piece of paper, we are a blank piece of paper full of the wisdom of life. But not many people get to that. A lot of people end up at the end of their life being severely conflicted. We know people like that who have carried a lot of the anger and resentment or limiting beliefs of missed opportunity. But today, like I said, you are becoming, right? It's not an end here. It's a beginning of becoming of who you want to be. So realize that once we wake up with that radical honesty, we are now uncovering what that root cause could be. Of course, if you ever want to figure that out and actually resolve it, you can apply to work with me, and we'll let it go within 8 weeks. That's pretty simplistic. And you can always go to josephclough.info/apply for that one if you personally want a customized program. But regardless of working with me or not, we've got to just realize at an identity level, we are conflicted. That's all it is. Now, it's a big thing, but it's not all the symptoms anymore. Think about, like at the beginning, if I think of that big goal of maybe 1,201 episodes or 24 million plus million downloads and views, that's huge. That's like all the symptoms we're going through. But now we're going, do you know what? We've got the starting place of just working on the root cause. Because that identity shifts everything else consequentially. Like, I always imagine it like a pyramid, where the bottom is our environment, where most people live. They try to change their environment from one relationship to another, one job to another. Then they go through their behavior, which is above that, their capabilities above that, their values and their beliefs. But at the very top of that pyramid is the identity. And everything changes when you transform your identity. So if you can imagine, you're now, I am, fill in the blank, which is perfect, like worthy, deserving. Well, of course, your beliefs and values will now change. Your capacity is now wide open. Your behavior is dramatically inspired, and then it just filters into your environment. So never work on that low-level environment, because when you work on the identity, you're awakening something so powerful. I believe it's that light within you. It's like going back to the spark of who you are, that purity where you had no conception of identity. You didn't have an idea of who you are. You were just whole in every single way. And that's where I think we should all work for. And we do that by becoming aware of the darkness around us. In other words, the metaphorical aspect of that darkness is the symptoms, our environment, who we're hanging around with. Become radically honest in that darkness to then welcome that light into your life. And here's a really big thing though. On this journey of transformation, like I've experienced this, the more I put my work out into the world, I'm more likely to be ridiculed or have negative comments. It's just one of those number things, right? So if, for example, 10 people, you're kind of putting yourself out there to 10 people, one person might not resonate, and that's one thing. But when you're going to, like, say, the millions, then there's going to be a percentage of that, right? So the more you become visible in becoming the you, realize that there's going to be some resistance along the way. Not everyone is going to like your brightness because they are maybe conflicted too. But it's not your responsibility to not be seen, to play small because of someone else's issue or someone else's framework or programming. In fact, what I would be saying as a motivation is like, I'm going to be the biggest, brightest light, that it will blind them metaphorically to only see the light in the world. Like, you're going to pen them in with this light by being the authentic you. Now, of course, not everyone will take it that way, but they'll just, if you stay the course, they will not be attracted to your energy. So they'll find the similar and familiar energy to them. And of course, that frees you up, and now you're bright, and guess what? You're going to attract more light into your life by shining bright. So become conscious that there are going to be some people who are not going to resonate. Are you ready to outgrow them? Are you ready to outgrow your environment? Even yourself? Are you ready to give up who you are to become the version of yourself that is truly love and free in every single way. That's a scary thing. I get it, right? We've been this way for such a long time. We've been programmed with the same stories. Some of these stories are generations long in our family, right? It's a big thing to become conscious of and to go, do you know what? I'm ready to outgrow this version of me. Like, I'm just tired of being tired and conflicted. But it's also the same thing about like moving from the effect side to the cause side. It is also so much liberating. You finally get to choose. You get to do what you want, not based on your past, not based on your history, the stories, what people said. You get the freedom to choose once again. And I like to think that short-term pain of outgrowing yourself or people, the environment, being that radically honest you are going to, for most people, pretty quickly if you get the right help. But even if, say, for example, let's put it this way. People like me, I want to get it all done in 8 weeks. But let's say we're doing it by ourselves and say it's 2 years. Imagine just 2 years of doing the deep work and then living the rest of your life totally free. Isn't it worth that work to be able to have the rest of your life the exact way that you want to be? Of course, so see that work as a liberation. You are reclaiming who you are going to be, or the source of who you are. Now, to finish this off, I think it's also very important to have a lot of gratitude too. So number one, I'm immensely grateful for every viewer on my live streams, very grateful for every comment on YouTube, immensely grateful for every email I get, every message I get, every review that inspires others. So I want to just say I'm so grateful to have the privilege of doing these podcast episodes, or even beyond that, because we've got 1,201 episodes once this is concluded, but we've got over 1,000 or plus more hypnosis sessions within the app at hypnosiswithjoseph.app, which you can start to utilize in every single way. And I'm so thankful that we have the opportunity to do that. And that's because of you listening to this right now. And in that same notion, my gratitude for you, you should also have gratitude for you, because you are spending and investing, at the very least, doesn't have to be monetary, at the very least, your time in wanting to develop. You see, money usually replenishes every single month. It can be pretty hard if you're an entrepreneur, a business owner, so there's going to be ups and downs. But let's just say, metaphorically or generally, if you've got a salary job, predictably it replenishes. Whereas time is the one thing that does not replenish. So therefore, be so grateful for yourself for putting in the work, by putting in the time. And as you begin to think about that gratitude, now begin to put your inner awareness into the things around you, right? Because usually we're living out there in the world, thinking about what other people are thinking about ourselves, or we're comparing ourselves to where other people are. Well, take a moment, just be grateful for what is in your life right now. The things around you, the ability to be able to listen or to watch this, the ability to have a surface beneath you. Maybe we have the bed, the roof, we have the heating, the air conditioning, maybe we have the equipment in terms, like for me it's the equipment, but like TVs, electricity and all that. Be so thankful for what you have. And then begin to go even further on the inside and be grateful for who you are as a person. And if it helps, you might want to look through the eyes of someone who loves you, even a pet who you look after. They probably adore you. And be grateful for the qualities you have. Don't hide away from them. Lean into them, express them, because the more you express your qualities, you're setting up a new benchmark to get more. Not just consciously. You see, whatever you focus on expands. That's why anxiety gets bigger and bolder. That is why our fears or bad relationships keep on happening over and over again. But leaning into your qualities, you're telling your unconscious mind, I want this. I want more of these qualities. And then, finally, if you think about becoming the person you desire, that is out of the darkness and into the light, that is shining so bright, the person you're about to become, be so grateful for this journey you're on, even beyond the outcome, but the very fact that you are becoming in every single moment, that you're learning and adapting. Be grateful for this present experience, because we never know how long we've got and all those things, and it's better to do that. And also, just to finish this off, like, I am, growing up, I was pretty stupid. Dropped out of school, 6 C's, out of, like, A, B, C, D, and so on. Like, 6 C's, the rest were D's and E's. Dropped out of college, at business, I'd add as well. Didn't turn up to the exams, because I just had my own issues. And then I wrote a book, which I didn't even write, I just spoke it. You see, there's so many different ways. If I can do this, who's someone who was a little bit stupid growing up. Maybe I just wasn't taught right by the teachers, who knows. But if I can do this, then absolutely you can do whatever you desire if you put in the consistent alignment, have that radical honesty every single day, so you're consciously aware, and allow yourself that grace. Give yourself that drive, that passion, that purpose. Have a sense of mission to that desired outcome of who you want to be. And just go from there. Like, this is the moment where you can start to leave a legacy in what you're about to develop and receive into your life. And then finally, whatever you desire, desires you to. Whatever you want, wants you to. So, as Neville Goddard would say, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and then act upon it with conviction. So I hope you got value from this episode. There's a mixture of many different things, but remember, no matter how much darkness is around you, there's always going to be light. And so usually we try to think about the light as something external from us, but really you are the light. And the more you brighten and put more light onto yourself, you'll actually see so many people just like you. You'll even awaken their light as you go on your journey. That's my goal. That's my mission anyway, to leave the world a better place than I found it. So of course, I will leave that there. Of course, if you want to work with me, you can go ahead and book a call. What you do on that call is you fill out an application form. We get clear on where you are, where you want to be, what's getting in the way, and then if my program will solve it, I'll absolutely tell you that we can. And then obviously there's an investment. It's not free, it's fully custom. You get to work with me and my team, my program, custom hypnosis sessions, your name, your needs met in every single way, and we just make it a reality. So that's at josephclough.info/talk or /apply. Both URLs pretty much lead to the same thing. And of course, if you want to get access to the app, you can do as well at hypnosiswithjoseph.app. And if you've enjoyed this, got any value from this or my work, take a moment, leave a review, because your review could be that light that inspires someone to give hypnosis, these power talks a go and so on, and get the help they absolutely deserve in every single way, just like you. So with that, I look forward to speaking to you on the next episode. Many thanks and goodbye. Oh, that was a long one. Was that a long one? I feel like we were speaking for a long time. So to awaken from that trance, we'll just change your music abruptly. I will then move the me out in front of me to the top right here. And then I'll move the chat right here. And the whole time I needed a sneeze and I needed a cough. Right, or not the whole time, near the end. 3/4 way through. Yes, pen them in with light. I've said this before, like if I have bad service, like a waiter, waitress, and they're just like, they look unhappy, my whole goal, my whole idea, forget about the dinner or lunch I'm having, I'm going to pen them in with as much love. I'm going to go back there again and do the same thing. It's fun, yes. You gamify your life to helping more people. Thank you so much, May. Great to have you on the stream. I go live every Monday at 3 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. East Coast, 11 p.m. in the United Kingdom on YouTube, on my Facebook page, and my personal page as well. Thank you, Michelle. Hopefully you are staying warm. But there we have it. We did it. We did it. And we did it with this lighting for the first time. I'll try to mention the light as Linda requested, the darkness and the light. There's a bit of a theme. Any questions? Before we finish, because it's almost top of the hour. Thank you, Mina. Appreciate that. Pleased you had some aha moments. Maybe, did anyone have any confusing moments? Because confusion is not that you don't know. You're all the things, you just don't know how to put them together yet. So confusion is good. Confusion is good. Oh, look at that. We didn't test these on this screen, did we? This lighting. Glitching out. Energy circles. Fireworks. That'll be good on this one, look. It'd be better if it was. That's better that way anyway. And then finally we'll go for a little bit of that energy. Oh, let's see. What did you say, Mary? What did you say? I got a look on YouTube. I don't see any flagging of comments. What did you say? Thank you, Linda. Great suggestion on the lighting. It's a bit different. This kind of blinds me a little bit. It's a different kind of stream though, isn't it? I think we could do this for the hypnosis. Like the hypnotic meditations. I was conscious though, when I was talking like this, if it changed. See how like the shadow and my hands do move a lot when I talk. Sometimes. Hey Sue, all the way in Australia, welcome. Yes, becoming. We're just becoming. It makes it so much like nicer. We're always just becoming. Yeah, my dad said a question was missed. I caught that at the end. So feel free to put it on my call. I haven't seen the question, by the way, because I don't get my dad's questions. But feel free to put it on my call, which will be this Saturday. Oh no, that did not come through. I don't see any flagging. But that is true. I knew I shouldn't, in a way, said that. But you know what? I perceived myself as being stupid back then. Because of, actually, I think it was the education system. Because I got C's in all the physical and artistic things. So like C's at sports, art, then there's what? Design and technology. So they should have just taught mathematics in ways which are more active, like visually active. It'd be so much easier. And also to know why. Why am I learning this? What does it mean? Put it in terms of a credit card, a bank statement, rather being confused. That's how I'd change the education system. Put a meaning behind the language or the mathematics. The maths. Nice. Absolutely. Game changer. Good work, Samantha, and congratulations, and I look forward to the next celebration of yours as well. But oh my goodness, we've been streaming. I'm getting cold now. We've been streaming for a whole hour. Ah, there we go. Yes, I was gonna say I'm trying, but trying means to tried, and tried means failure. But yeah, I've been just, I'd say I'm a little bit deficient, but in a way that I'm meant to be. But I've still got, I haven't weighed myself. I need to, when I do like coaching, I become now very conscious of my own language. Like I need to do this. I get to do this. I tried means failure. It's so interesting that becoming conscious of your own words is very, very powerful. Like catch yourself having those stories of a little syntax of the language we use. Like I'm always like this. Always? I need to do this. Well, what would happen if you didn't? Oh, nothing. There you go. Be conscious, because each language, I see it as almost a majority, so not all, because that'd be another linguistic mistake, but a majority of our own self-talk will presuppose a limiting thing, right? But in some way, because it's a closed loop. But once you become conscious of that, you go, really? Really?
Really? Really, really? Nah.
So even I catch myself. But there we have it, episode 1201 done. We've hit 56,000 subscribers on YouTube. We've hit well over 24 million, I'm sure, in views and downloads between just the podcast and the YouTube. So I think we're doing something good. I think. So it's time for me to just go. Oh, it's not completely dark, but. So we have anything else before we go? Because there's a long stream. I need to get the lighting around this as well. Look at that. Though technically it should be there. We can put light on it. There we go. There we go. Perfect. There we go. We did it. Camera 2. Blue. Magic. Might as well just turn off that camera. Thank you so much. That's the intention, that's for sure, but I totally accept your kind words. That is the plan. That is the goal. Yes. We are only 54,000. No, that makes no sense. 44,000 subscribers away. Only. Easy. Easy peasy.
Why not? 100%.
100%.
100%. 100%.
There we go. All done. Thank you all for being here. Hit the thumbs up if you will. Maybe leave a nice little comment at the end of the stream, not in the chat, but beneath this when it finishes. Do a quick refresh, or because it might take you to another video, so go backwards. And hopefully we hit the algorithms and all that stuff. So I'm going to press one of these buttons. One of these buttons. It's easier to see in the dark. Good night. Yes, one step at a time. And we're not stepping back either. So I'm going to press this one, which says end, in 3, 2, 1.